Hello you guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. So this is going to be an update on the whole Blake Lively situation. Obviously we know she is in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni over It Ends With Us and all the drama that took place on set. Of course, Ryan Reynolds has been thrown into the mix, and honestly, the taste in my mouth for Blake and Ryan Reynolds is so sour. It just seems like they are just not good people and not someone you'd want to be around, and they are very much concerned about their image, and that is it. And they're so concerned about their image that they're doing things to make themselves look even worse, and they don't even realize it. They're making themselves look creepy. So I'm going to share with you this story that I just saw on TikTok, and it is from a creator. She is talking about how her and her mother were staying at a hotel in Waco, Texas. They were, I guess, around the vicinity of the South by Southwest festival that Blake was at to do promo for Another Simple Favor. They had their premiere out there in Texas. I believe it was last week. So apparently, Blake and her team did not like that this girl and her mother, who were sitting in the lobby, chilling, enjoying their day, people watching, as people do. I mean, I've done it myself. I've gone to restaurants, I've sat in lobbies, had a little drink. You sit, you chat, you people watch, you just take it all in. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess if you're Blake Lively walking by, you feel like you're the only one that matters. So you have to make a whole ordeal over a situation, as she has done with this lawsuit. She always starts ish. That is just so unnecessary. So apparently, I guess they felt threatened, Blake and her team, because they didn't know what this girl and her mother captured on their phones, because they were, videotaping because they saw a famous person. I feel like that's a normal thing and something that Blake should probably be very used to, given that she's been in this industry for like 20 years plus, if not, I would say 10 plus, but I'm sure it's more than that. But she's been in this industry a long time, and she's used to being photographed. She's used to people pulling out their phones and filming. Like, this is not new. But because she is in all of this drama, it seems like her and her team are on heightened alert for something that they've put themselves in. So I am gonna let this girl let you know what took place to her. There is a short version and then there is a longer version. So she did kind of truncate into 60 seconds, but I will also clip the longer version for those of you that want all of the little details. But just given the fact that they have not settled at this point and they're trying to do reverse lawsuits for $400 million, like, I do not understand the minds of these people. They will not let this ish go, and you have already lost in the court of public opinion. Just like, if you're dead, lay the hell down and go somewhere, to your house in Connecticut or wherever the fuck you like to be, on plantations. Go somewhere, okay, and leave us alone for a minute, and then come back with some renewed type of perspective. Do some healing, do some therapy, do something, because what y'all are doing, Blake and Ryan, right now at this moment, is not working. And we are seeing a lot of blind items that Blake and Ryan are not even living in the same home right now, which honestly is not surprising. It's not surprising at all, especially with Ryan pulling that joke at the SNL honors and Blake looking like, what the fuck? And the fact that Ryan was not at the premiere with Blake for Another Simple Favor. And people are saying, per blind items, that it's because Ryan Reynolds refuses. But of course, it's all rumors, alleged, what have you. But I will let you hear the story from her mouth.
Okay, couple comments like this, giving myself 60 seconds, short version, let's go. My mom and I were staying at Hotel 1928 in Waco, Texas this weekend. Blake Lively and her team were staying there as well after South by Southwest in Austin on Friday night. We found this out from all the hotel staff, ended up recording her coming into the hotel lobby. We were just hanging out, people watching. Her team caught wind of this, I believe, maybe saw me recording her on the security camera, did not like this, thought maybe I recorded something they didn't want out there, didn't want me to see, whatever. Next morning, we kind of were being followed by her security guard a little bit on the way out, checking out of the hotel. Blake Lively herself comes out, starts recording us, says hi to get us to look up at her, circles our car, gets the car information, license plates, all that. Online harassment started the next day. Her lawyer, her social media person, her nanny were looking at my stories. They ended up making troll accounts, and someone called me fat. Long versions are on here if you want them. Did Blake Lively's inner circle really call me fat? Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Caitlin. I live in Texas, and I'm just sharing my story. With all the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama going on, I feel like this is a bizarre turn of events from just a little mom and me trip that I went on this weekend to Waco, Texas, and I would love to share it with you guys. If you've been following along on Instagram, I've shared a little bit here and there. Just things went from like just a normal little trip to Blake Lively's inner circle, her attorney, her social media girl, and one of her nannies, and a bunch of mysterious incognito accounts following me and harassing me. So a little backstory here. This trip was actually supposed to happen back in September. I was pregnant in June, suffered a miscarriage in August, and my mom and I wanted a little getaway after all of that going on in September. We ended up having to reschedule the trip. We rescheduled it for springtime as an early birthday celebration for my mom. So we went this past weekend. We just stayed one night. The hotel is super expensive, but beautiful. If you don't know, it's like $400 to $500 a night, and then you have to pay for valet, fees, all that good stuff. So we were going on a little mother and daughter trip just to get away from everything. My husband and I have been struggling with fertility for about a year and a half now, including the miscarriage, and so we just wanted some time away together. Okay, so this will come into play a little bit later, but this is their little gift shop. It's right inside the lobby. So when we got there, we headed to the check-in desk. There was a super strange energy in the air. All of the employees seemed very frantic, like they weren't really paying attention to us. They were like preoccupied. Then we saw a florist or somebody bring in a bunch of like beautiful floral arrangements. We thought, oh, just a wedding or an event going on. They've got like a ballroom and people get married here. This is Chip and Joanna's hotel. So if you're not familiar, it's Hotel 1928 in Waco. They restored it and all that good stuff. It's got a show, all that. So part of the Magnolia entities connected with Chip and Joanna. So we get checked in, we ask the front desk person, like, what's going on? Is there a wedding? And she's like, no, actually, we've got a big VIP staying here this weekend. And she basically told us, like, oh, if you stick around, you might see the VIP. So we were like, oh, okay. Obviously, that put us on alert to what was kind of going on. We got up to our room, checked in, hung out for a while. We had reservations planned later on for dinner at the Hotel Birdies on the Rooftop, which is a really cute restaurant here. So yeah, we're going about our normal day. Okay, this is a little kind of like lounge. They have a bunch of them throughout the hotel. If you're not familiar with the hotel, it's got like, I think 36 rooms, super tiny. It's like 3 floors total, but the 3rd floor, I believe, is just the ballroom, the restaurant, maybe a few rooms, I'm not sure. The 2nd floor is the floor that has all the rooms, so everyone kind of stays on the same floor. Very small boutique hotel. So we hung out here for a bit. We were like, oh, maybe we'll, if we just hang out, we'll kind of see stuff going on, whatever. So we were hanging out here, and there is a like large suite on this floor, and the cleaning staff had the door open. They were frantically cleaning. The florist was bringing in the flowers. So we were like, okay, VIP's got to be staying in this room. It's like pretty obvious. I ended up looking up online and just kind of seeing like, oh, is this like, do they have suites here? Like, what's the deal? This is like a 12-person suite on this floor, their biggest one. It takes up like a whole part of the 2nd floor, but just like right up against every other room on this floor. So it was very obvious to us and probably everyone else staying at this hotel that this is kind of what was going on. This is where the VIP was going to be. All the staff was openly talking about the VIP staying here, what they were doing to prepare, all that stuff. Fast forward a bit, we've got our dinner reservation in the evening, so we go up to Birdies on the Rooftop, which is shown here. We heard, more buzz in the air. Everyone was kind of whispering. the guests, you know, a lot of people come there just for the restaurant, so it was like hotel guests, not hotel guests. The elevators didn't even have any sort of like protection, so anyone could go up. You didn't even have to tap your card, nothing. So basically anyone that goes in has all access to the hotel, which means this is like a very not incognito hotel, very public hotel, very popular on Instagram, social media, TV, all that good stuff. So turns out our server knew who was staying there, and then we later found out all of the staff did know. So every single person that worked for Hotel 1928 knew exactly who was going to be there, knew what room they were going to be in, basically all the details of this visit. All the staff were in on and openly discussing it the whole time. So our server ended up telling us that Blake Lively herself was going to be there, apparently for a meeting with Joanna Gaines, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy with everything going on in the news. I had personally been following the case, team Justin Baldoni personally, and we heard the main guy at the restaurant say like VIP in the house, and talking to the other, workers, staff members, saying like she was downstairs and they were, coming in and checking in and whatnot. So yeah, it was just like a whole bunch of madness. Honestly, like, I don't know how somebody could not pick up on what was going on. Very big deal across the board. So we had our dinner. We ended up getting like a little free cheesecake because we were celebrating my mom's birthday. We took it up to the room, kind of just chilled out for a little bit. Came downstairs and just kind of explored the hotel. I was taking pictures. Love to take pictures of places I go for Instagram, so I was doing some of that. We were just kind of checking things out. There's lots to see in the hotel. It's very interesting, like very well done. And again, we were hearing lots of buzz from the employees, like people were, kind of running around frantically, whispering, talking about what was going on. And obviously we were kind of like in the know at this point, as I'm sure, many of the people staying there kind of picked up on too. So we just kind of decided we would hang out. So again, front desk person told us if we camped out, if we stuck around, we might see the VIP. So we're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Not many celebrity run-ins. This is like Waco, Texas, very sleepy little town. Pretty much just known for the Magnolia entities. So we were hanging out. We kind of camped out on the little lounge couch here in front of the fireplace, and we were just kind of, moving around. They have lots of different little lounge areas, people watching, all that good stuff. Okay, so this is the couch, the little lounge area. So the lobby would be like right here. And so we were just hanging out on this little couch, again, people watching, seeing if we, could see anybody or, figure out what was going on a little more. I have this camera circled up here because this will come into play. So basically we sat down here for a few hours. We were reading magazines. We had the spring issue of, the Magnolia magazine with Joanna Gaines. We ended up bringing down like our cheesecake and just kind of hanging out, and people watching. So many interesting people coming through this hotel. And we ended up kind of hearing just more talk. People were talking about, a private area in the restaurant that was blocked off for Blake Lively. And her crew, to eat, I guess, or something. Like it was, 3,000 square feet of the restaurant that they had blocked off for her. So she was definitely getting, the special treatment the whole time. This was a Saturday night, so it was pretty busy. People were coming in and out. But it seemed like, their main focus was definitely the fact that there was a VIP coming to stay. And, we were there for a little bit, hoping that we would kind of see something. Obviously, she's a celebrity, so it's, would really be really cool. Or like my mom was hoping we'd see Joanna Gaines. We were big fans before all this went down. And yeah, so we ended up, again, like I said, camping out. And then, probably about like 7, the employees started like openly talking about how she was coming. That, she was on her way and like what they were going to do when she got there, all of that. So, long story short, I had my phone and I was, filming a celebrity, as one does. And, she ended up walking through the door in the main entrance in the lobby about, like 7:15 or something like that. And I had my phone up, like kind of slightly recording, and, they brought her in. It was just her. She was on crutches. And her, like a security personnel that she had with her, and then just the main hotel girl that was kind of like walking them in. And I'm going to get cut off, so like and follow for part 2. Did Blake Lively's inner circle call me fat? Let's dive into it, part 2. If you're new here and not sure what's going on, go watch part 1 and then come back to this. So picking up where we left off in part 1, Blake Lively comes in the lobby with her security person and with one of the hotel staff escorting her. We're camping out on the little green couch that I showed in the last video. Immediately when she walks in, she spots us sitting on the couch, looking kind of right at her. My phone's up, trying to be sly because it's a celebrity, you know. Clearly, you know, they kind of made eye contact with us and like noticed that we were there. It was a very small little lobby, not many people around in that little area. Most people were kind of like in the restaurant. We were just camping out, people watching. First thing she does when she comes in is kind of put her hand like over her face a little bit, and then ask the security or not security person, the hotel staff member if she could go grab a hat in the gift shop, likely to kind of like protect her identity a little bit more. So they walk in there, they go grab a hat, likely for free because, you know, it's Blake Lively, and then they come back out right towards us at the elevators. So again, we're sitting here on this couch, slyly recording her, just kind of like watching everything go down. Obviously, we're kind of like starstruck, like not really sure what's going on type of thing. She's on crutches. I think I maybe mentioned that in the first one. I don't know if that was just part of like the, you know, being incognito type of thing. She was at South by Southwest the night before in Austin, Texas for her premiere of A Simple Favor 2 with like Anna Kendrick and all them. Don't think Ryan Reynolds was there. I think she was solo. But you know, we were here kind of just scoping things out, and they walked straight towards us. They were like 2 feet from us. They got in the elevator. Her security guy kind of like turned around and like looked at us sitting on the couch, and then they like, you know, went up to their room. And yeah. So we kind of camp out there just for a little longer, you know, not too much action. We did see her children, some, you know, people with her children. Blake Lively was not with them, probably to kind of keep them separate, just, you know, for private, like to keep things more privacy and a little more on the down low, but her security guy was kind of escorting them. They had like a, you know, section of the restaurant blocked off saying private event, closed for private event. Again, the staff was, you know, going crazy, frantic. People kept checking in with each other saying, is everything good? You know, kind of like that. This black door right here, I think that was like their staff room or, you know, their back room, because it was like constantly in and out of this door the whole night, grabbing stuff and talking to each other, talking about the VIP, talking about Blake, all that. So this was like their little headquarters for the staff at Hotel 1928. So later on, yeah, like I said, we saw, you know, the children kind of coming and going, and the security guy definitely, like, you know, was aware that we were sitting there, kind of watching everything, and I think, you know, definitely arose some suspicion there with that, just because it was her children, her nannies. You know, it's been stated online that they don't have nannies. I don't know if this is like a new thing just with the case and they need extra help, but the children all had a nanny with them, or somebody, you know, that looked like a nanny with them. So eventually we kind of just were like, okay, you know, the action's over. We're going to just go up to our room for the night, watch TV, hang out, and, you know, carry on with our trip. Okay, I showed this little lounge area. It was on the second floor of the hotel, which is where all the rooms were. Showed it in part 1, so we'll come back to this. So we, you know, got up the next morning, and we were, you know, getting ready for our breakfast reservation. We had a reservation at their other restaurant that was on site. The brasserie, I think it's called, downstairs. So we were just, you know, going to do that. We didn't have, you know, much on the plan for the day. So we walk out of our room, and we actually had to walk past the room, the big suite that Blake was staying in. Like every time we had to go to our like room, basically, onto the elevators, as did most people. So it was like pretty much kind of like close to the elevators, this big old suite that, you know, clearly is for special people. And so we walk out and we notice that there's an armed guard in the hallway. So this was something new. So up until this point, she only had her just like little security guy that was in like regular clothes, like no one else with her aside from him. And I did some searching, and it's not her normal security guard that she's had for like 13 years. So this was probably just somebody that like Chip and Joanna, you know, maybe someone local. I don't really know what the situation was, but that they had for her there. So probably because people would recognize her security guard if they knew her. I wouldn't, because I'm not like huge Blake Lively fan or anything, but I'm sure if you are, you would probably pick that up. So this was like really weird. So armed security guard in the hallway, and he looked really similar to the people that we saw, like the security people that we saw the day before at Magnolia, on the grounds of Magnolia. So it was probably somebody from there that they pulled over just, I guess, for added protection. I don't really know if, the supposed meeting was happening that day or whatever, if Joanna was in the room and she needed extra protection. Like, I don't really know what the situation was. So this is all just speculation, of course. But the grounds of Magnolia are closed on Sunday. So I was also like, maybe, this is a trip for Blake to get away from all the craziness. And, if they're friends with Chip and Joanna and they're offering up, for her to stay there and take the kids to Magnolia. I don't really know. These are all just kind of like my, ideas that were spinning around in my head, because I didn't realize that there was a connection between Chip and Joanna and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, but up until this point. And just like kind of had no idea why they would even be like associating. Again, we saw an armed guard in the hallway. We were kind of like, this is weird. He was just standing by the elevators, kind of with a view of the suite, just keeping an eye out on things. So we just, hopped in the elevator, went down and got our breakfast. So here's the breakfast restaurant that we were eating at, the brasserie in the hotel, first floor of the hotel. We were like kind of off to the side by the windows, had a really great breakfast. Again, employees were still stirring, talking about what was going on. People were kind of running all around again. Same thing kind of as the day before. And we did notice that her security person was kind of running around too, talking to people. He ended up like sitting down at a long booth that was like kind of off, far in the back. And the night before, when the kids were I guess eating in the private room, eating dinner, whatever, he was also in this restaurant, but like camped out at the bar, which is kind of behind this wall here. And then when they like needed to be escorted, he would go and like escort them. So he definitely was trying to remain, out of sight, kind of just like hidden type of thing in regular clothes, like I said. But this morning he was sitting facing us. We didn't think anything of it. He was like in the back. There was, tons of people eating there at the restaurant. But we obviously, were noticing kind of the whispers and the talk and all of that. So enjoy our breakfast, go kind of back through the lobby, and then we were going to head upstairs to get our stuff ready to check out. So here's kind of this like front little area of the restaurant that we were eating at, and then the lobby was like off to this side. And again, we kind of noticed like some weird things, like the security guy was like talking to a girl that didn't look like she was a guest, and she didn't look like she was a hotel person, but it kind of seemed like they were whispering and chatting about Blake. I don't know, like maybe she was associated with her or whatever. I mean, I'm sure that there was staff present that we just like didn't see. Again, she was staying in like a 12-person suite, and with the nannies, and so I'm sure there were other people with her there too. But yeah, so we kind of went up here and headed back up to the room. Quick little drink break. Got my electrolytes here, my needed hydration support, and my Armor Colostrum. Not sponsored, obviously, but if they want to sponsor me, let's do it. So we head down, back down to the lobby to check out. We've got all of our bags with us. And as we were walking from our room to the elevators to go down, the security guard was kind of still there, the armed guard. And then her security person was upstairs now, kind of like in the hallway, in one of the hallways, like on his phone. And so like, obviously we didn't think anything of that. We're just like, ooh, somebody's on the move kind of thing. And it turns out, I think it might have been us that they were watching, that were on the move. And this is where it really gets interesting. So hop in the elevator. We've got all of our bags. I don't know if I already said that, but we spent so much money at the Magnolia Entities that weekend. So me and my mom each had like armfuls of shopping bags, and we've got our overnight bags. We head down, we check out, and then we kind of camp out by this little front area, kind of the bellhop area, while we wait for the valet to pull up our car. And I'm going to get cut off again at 10 minutes. So you know the drill. Like and follow for part 3. Did Blake Lively's inner circle really just call me fat? Part 3. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, go watch them and come back here for part 3. Picking up where we left off in part 2, my mom and I had just checked out of the hotel. Everything seemed like kind of normal, except for, the whispers and the commotion was still going on, which is to be expected when there's a celebrity staying there, I guess. Again, her security person was kind of like all over the place. Did notice that he was downstairs when we were eating breakfast, and then we went upstairs, went to our room for a while, got things ready to kind of check out, packed up, came out. Again, he was in the hallway, near kind of the elevators on his phone, just kind of back and forth having a conversation. We hopped in the elevators, go downstairs, go to check out at the front desk, and then we're kind of waiting in this little bellhop area for the valet to drive up our car. So as we're checking out at the front desk, just briefly wrapping things up, did notice that the security guard was now all of a sudden downstairs in the lobby. Didn't really think anything of it. Obviously, there's a lot of, people moving, her kids, nannies, whatever was going on that day. The server had made it seem like maybe the meeting that she was having with Joanna Gaines was on Sunday, or maybe, in the next few days or whatever. Not sure how long they were planning to be there for. So we walk outside, the valet person has our car ready to go. We, walk up to the car, start loading up, and all of a sudden I heard somebody say hi to me, and it sounded like a woman's voice. So I looked up, and shockingly, it was Blake Lively. She said hi to me to get my attention so I would look up at her, and I instinctively just said hi back, because what do you say? She has her phone up recording us. Her and then her security guard comes out. They start circling my mom's car, getting the car on film, the license plates, our faces, everything. It all happened so fast. So we were just like, what the heck? So we got in the car. The security guard, I think she maybe passed her phone off to the security guard. My mom said, I wasn't really paying attention because I was like, what the heck is going on right now? What are they doing? And I think she ran back inside. I don't know where she came from, where she popped out from. She obviously was exposing herself to everyone for, just to get us on camera. I don't know what was happening, but the security guard then came up on the passenger side and was still recording. And then he, went back inside, and then we just left. 'Cause what do you do? It was the weirdest thing ever, most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me. So we make the couple-hour drive back home, talking about, what just happened, is this even real life? We were in disbelief that Blake Lively made it a point to come out and say hi to us to get our attention and then record us in our car and our license plates. How freaking weird. Electrolyte break. Fast forward to Monday. Obviously we're still shook by what happened. I ended up sharing this on my story. Just kind of the situation. I hadn't put, anything about really our trip, hadn't really posted much the whole weekend. Was just trying to kind of disconnect and, hang out with my mom. But so yeah, I posted this, and this is when things got really weird. So basically I just said, what went down, and kind of just oh my gosh, Blake Lively was recording us kind of thing. Then I just shared some more stories, like this one, basically saying oh, I think maybe they were worried that I recorded something that they didn't want me to, or heard something, or just had information that they didn't want getting out or something like that, just, with me recording. And obviously there's a security camera right here, which would have, I was sitting right there in the corner, probably seen me with my phone up and just, seen that we were sitting there for a few hours. Kind of just observing and people watching and, watching what was going on. That's when I noticed that I started getting strange views on my stories, people that didn't follow me and that I didn't recognize, a bunch of views. It wasn't just one person, maybe had a mutual connection and somehow found me. I don't know. It was a bunch of people, and this was the first person I noticed. So it says right there, Hotel GM. So I was that's weird. So I was I wonder if she's connected to Hotel 1928 somehow. Searched her on Google, and she came right up on LinkedIn here. So you can see her name there, Hotel General Manager at Hotel 1928. So I was what the heck? Why is the GM of the hotel looking at my stories? That's when I also noticed that there was incognito accounts that were starting to pop up looking at my stories too. I was like sharing things here and there. You can go look at my Instagram highlight. I've got, everything that I've shared on there saved to a highlight. So you can see kind of like what I was posting. I was just kind of, talking about the case and just things in general, trying to make connections, like things like that. But so these started popping up, viewing my stories, and I was like, this is weird. So I started like hiding them all and blocking these people because I was like, this is super weird. Like, why are these people that I do not know stalking me? So this was one of the things that I shared on my stories. I just like was looking for, things that I thought were interesting on just Google. So this one says, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds don't use nannies for their 4 children. This looked like it was, this is like a recent thing, recent article or whatever, basically just praising them for not using nannies. And I thought this was so interesting because they were very clearly with nannies on this trip and their children. And so, so I posted that. And then what do you know? This person pops up having viewed my stories. So curious, of course, because I didn't know this person. I clicked on her profile and it said something about New York. And I was like, no way. Like, she kind of resembled like the nanny, one of the nannies that we saw with the kids. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's literally no way that Blake Lively's nanny would be looking at my Instagram stories. Sure enough, searched her name on Facebook. This came up right away as public information. Works at nanny, household manager, family assistant. I was like, there is literally no way Blake Lively's nanny is looking at my stories. Then I see this person named Molly Sage pop up on my views, and I was like watching them like a hawk at this point, like just to see like who else was looking at my stories that could possibly be connected to her. So this girl looked at all my stories, and then I noticed like she was gone, like when I went back, but I still had her in like my recent like search history, and so like I couldn't figure out the connection, like hadn't gone to Blake Lively's page or anything like that. I was talking with my friend about it, and then she goes to Blake Lively's page and searches the name, and sure enough, Blake Lively follows her. Then after a quick Google search, my friend found that she is literally Blake Lively's social media person. So this girl was looking at my stories and then blocked me so that I wouldn't know she was looking at my stories. Now, after this, I started getting like really weirded out, like, what the heck, like, is going on? I posted this selfie and like I captioned it, I think, Team Justin Forever or something like that, because at this point I was getting like really like freaked out by what was happening. The fact that Blake Lively's team and inner circle was looking at everything I was posting and then like blocking me so that I wouldn't know. Then all of a sudden, accounts like this start popping up. Team Justin Forever. This one popped up right after I posted that selfie with the caption, Team Justin Forever. And they started looking at all my stories. And then I would like block one and another one would pop up. And they were clearly like harassing and stalking me. Then this is when things get really interesting. This user popped up and I noticed it said user 250 right there instead of like a name. So as if like the person changed it so that it would be hidden. So she looks at my stories, and again, same thing as the Molly Sage girl. Looks through all my stories, I see because I'm like actively watching it, and then she blocks me. Do a quick Google search with the username, pops up Ezra Hudson. I was like, okay, like barely any followers, like a dog account, like whatever. Ezra Hudson is an attorney for Blake Lively in the legal battle between Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. We're wrapping up part 3. As always, like. Did Blake Lively's inner circle really just call me fat? Part 4. If you're new here, go watch part 1, 2, and 3, and then come back here for part 4. We left off talking about how Blake Lively's attorney, Ezra Hudson, was one of the people that were looking at my stories and then blocked me so that I wouldn't see. So at this point, I was getting kind of freaked out and quite frankly angry and annoyed at what they were doing. So I had previously deleted this selfie because I was like, whatever, it said Team Justin Forever, like not really relevant. Then I ended up reposting it, as you can see here, basically saying, so in case you don't know, Blake Lively played Lady Pool in her husband Ryan Reynolds movie, Deadpool. And there's a whole thing with that. Basically, her character, Lady Pool, shoots and kills Nice Pool, who is supposedly portraying Justin Baldoni. So that's a whole thing. Go look into it if you don't know about that. But so basically, you know, like her and her mean girl crew were lurking and making fun of me. Like, clearly these are people who are very close to Blake Lively. I would not be surprised if they were, you know, sitting right next to her and showing her all of this that's going on, and she had a say in this, about what they were saying and doing. So anyways, reposted the selfie, and I put, basically called them out because I, you know, picked up on what they were doing. So they were naming their stalking pages after, like, what I was posting, basically. So then, after I reposted that selfie, this account popped up, Fat and Not Fabulous. And so at all of these accounts, basically the only reason that I was finding them is because they were purposely, like, looking at my stories. Obviously, some of them wanted to, you know, remain, like, incognito, like the lawyer and Molly Sage, because they were blocking me afterwards, but I caught it because I was looking at the stories and looking at my views. But this was, like, uncalled for. Like, seriously, you're gonna call me fat? Like, really? After you just put in your complaint against Justin Baldoni something about a comment he made about your weight, which, you know, supposedly happened, which probably did not happen. But yeah, so it marked it as spam, and then every time I saw one of these, I would block it. So then after that post on my stories, this account looked at my stories, all of them. And again, it popped up as, like, potential spam. Mommy vacay married on 11/11/23. So if you don't know, my wedding date was 11/11/23. And the reason for our stay on our reservation with the hotel was, like, a mother-daughter, you know, mommy-daughter vacation. I'm not sure exactly what words my mom had put on there, but this made it very clear that the Hotel 1928 staff had given all of our personal information to Blake and her team, and they were now using this against me as, like, a scare tactic or, you know, whatever, but this was very clearly now, like, bullying and harassment from Blake Lively and her team. So in this, I mentioned, like, you know, do they not realize that these accounts can be traced back to them? Because that is a very easy thing to come out. So there's a couple things that you can do to kind of get information about an account. You can click the three dots, and I think it says about this account. It'll tell you the month and the year that the account was made. And then also, you know, if it's just made, like, brand new within the last few days, it'll show that new mark right there. So, you know, that's information that you can find out about the account. And then also, of course, like, Instagram would know what phone number or email address the accounts are linked to. And this could be, you know, subpoenaed in court, whatnot, you know, all that. And found out and very clearly linked back to her team. And likely the people doing this, I imagine Blake Lively herself is not doing this from her phone. If she was, that would be, you know, a whole nother level. Like, Blake Lively personally bullying and harassing me for recording her in a public hotel. But I have a feeling it's likely the, you know, PR people, social media people that have the time on their hands to be doing this. Like, this is literally their job to, like, attack people that are, you know, maybe going against Blake Lively in this case. But anyways, so shared this because, like, this should be, like, an obvious thing to people. Like, if you're going to make fake accounts, they can be linked to you. So then this account pops up, views my stuff again, same deal. Looks at all my stories, and then, you know, I just block them after I see them pop up. Blocked moi. So, and then I put, is this their exit from harassment? Like, they got the memo. Like, I know what they're doing. I know that they're bullying and harassing me and calling me fat. And, like, making fun of what I'm posting and, you know, trying to scare me, whatever the goal is here. I don't really know what exactly they were trying to accomplish by doing all this. I am literally a nobody. Blake Lively is a very, very famous person. I have no connection with Justin Baldoni. I have no connection with any of these people. I literally am just a random girl. Like, I don't understand why they are targeting me and going after me with this stuff. So then I wake up this morning, so today's Tuesday, and, you know, so many people have said, like, you got to make a TikTok, like, share your story, like, people need to know. People were talking about Candace Owens and Justin Baldoni's PR people, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, all of that. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't even have a TikTok, made a TikTok. These are my first ever TikToks. on here. So, you know, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm sharing my story. Hopefully you all will like these videos, tag people who you think like might, you know, want more information about what's going on. Like, I'm sure these tactics are being used. If they're using on like me, a random person, they are likely being used against Justin Baldoni too. The Team Justin Forever account got deleted. All the rest of them are still up as of me recording this video right now. So these are all still up on Instagram. The Team Justin Forever, I don't know why that one in particular was deleted. I don't know if it was like different people on, you know, in her inner circle making these accounts, because, you know, like, I feel like you can only make so many accounts. Like, I don't really know how that all works with like phone numbers and email addresses, but I would think that you can only make so many accounts. Also, you know, maybe if that account was linked to them, like maybe that would, you know, be something relevant in the case with Justin Baldoni and his team, because they literally named it Team Justin Forever. And then we're like trolling and stalking and harassing and bullying people that were on his side. So anyways, did a little more digging today, saw this account, Fat and Not Fabulous 2.0. Again, another, you know, new account, and down there I showed how you can see like when they joined, so March 2025. So this was another one of these accounts. And then I also noticed that the Ezra attorney, Blake Lively's attorney, deleted her account like completely. After I shared yesterday that she was looking at my stories and called her out, her account is now completely gone from Instagram. So my takeaways from this whole situation are that Blake Lively and her team will do anything necessary to protect her image. Clearly, she has people on her team or around her that are, you know, like truly mean people, truly bad people. And this is just like mind blowing to me that like a celebrity and the people around her and like her lawyer, her nannies, like, you know, her social media person, people that she follows and she has a connection with, would like stoop so low for just like an average person, like that's, you know, no involvement in this case at all, aside from, you know, now what's happened. And you know, it's just truly wild. So that is everything up to this point that has gone down. If you have any questions, if there's things you want to know, please leave a comment, let me know. Also tag any influencers, public figures that might have an interest in any of this, that could potentially, you know, use this information to help Justin, because at this point it is very clear to me who is in the right and who is in the wrong. And I just want to say to Hotel 1928, you sharing our personal information with Blake Lively and her team, completely unethical, completely uncalled for. I don't know the extent of what is going on behind the scenes, but it's not okay. And shame on you all. This whole experience has been so eye-opening for me and everyone around me, because this is just something that we never, ever imagined would happen. I've been in touch with people in the PR world about this on Justin's team. I've reached out to Candace Owens, would love to share my story more, because I think that this needs to be heard. This is relevant to the case. Her tactics, her team's tactics, what is happening behind closed doors is not okay. I would love to share more. I have lots of thoughts, lots of theories, have some other articles and stuff that I found that I have information on just by sitting in a public place and watching all of this unfold. But if you have any questions, again, leave them for me. I will do my best to answer, and thank you all for watching.
Okay, so if you've gotten to this point in the video, then you've watched the full thing. You have watched her little short one, and you've watched the long version where she gave a plethora of details. And unlike Hotel 1928, Magnolia, Joanna Gaines, let me find out. I had no clue that they were doing it like that down in Waco, Texas. Like, I know they're a thing, but I didn't know they were like that. So I learned something new for sure on that part. But I will say, yes, this creator, she made a new TikTok to let us know this story. I'm sure she is probably trying to gain a platform. I do feel like she does want to help. She has reached out to Candace Owens. She has reached out to Justin's team. She has information that she feels is going to be helpful for this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni, because it really shows Blake's tactics of her trying to harass and try to body shame somebody, whereas she's saying that Justin Baldoni did those things to her, yet her and her team are doing these things to a regular random person. So, and just because she happened to be there and was filming her entrance into the hotel, I'm like, was nobody else in the hotel filming Blake Lively? And then the part where she walks in on crutches and she's trying to get a hat out of the gift shop, I'm like, this is fucking D. Like, if they already saw you, Blake, they know who the hell you are. A hat's not going to do much. But yes, this is the story. Let me know your thoughts. You can, of course, take it as a grain of salt. I do feel like this is a true story, a true legit story, because she gave way too many details for it to be a made-up lie. You know what I mean? And if it were a lie, she'd have to be studied. Let's just say that. We know Casey Anthony is out there and there are people with minds like that, but I'm not feeling that from this creator. So let me know your thoughts.